So here is the final strategy on or evaluating limits. Okay, so when all else fails, use technology. So AKA, you can use your calculator in Desmos, make a table of points, all that good stuff. So let's take a look at our first example. So the limit as x approaches 0 of sine of x over x. So what I get, if I plugged in a 0, I get sine of 0 over 0. Now, sine of 0, I know, is 0 on our unit circle. And again, I get that indeterminate form. I actually don't know what this limit is. And right now, there's no way that I can remove this x that's in the denominator by trying to multiply by a conjugate. So I can't just multiply by, sine of x onto the top and bottom. I can't change it to any of our properties. So what can I do? I can use an equation, and I can use Desmos to kind of help me. So here is our graph with Desmos. Let's pop it up so we can see everything. So we can kind of see that it looks like a lovely sine graph, a wave, so to speak. And we can see that at the point 0, it becomes undefined. Okay, so again, this makes sense because I get a 0 over 0. There's a hole in our graph. So as we get closer and closer and closer to 0, again, my answer is getting kind of closer and closer to the number 1. Now again, Desmos does a really good job of just rounding eventually to the number 1. So it looks like my answer is going to, if I was able to draw arrows on my graph, you'd be able to, we would see our arrows touch. So on this problem, we can say, even though it's indeterminate form, this limit is going to equal 1. Okay, a second example we might see is something that kind of looks like this example. So again, limit as x approaches 0 of this. So this will just be 1 plus 0 and then 1 over 0. Well, 1 plus 0 just gives me 1, and then this becomes 1 over 0. Now, this is not the indeterminate form, but I also can't tell what 1 to the power of this fraction is going to be because it's undefined. So, so again, what I want to do is I want to rely on technology. So let me zoom out a little bit more. I'm going to pop this up. So I can see this graph is crossing your y-axis, and again, it looks like it's undefined at 0. Now, for this one, it's not crossing at an integer that we see. So what else can I do? Well, again, I can scroll in if I want to kind of figure out where it's getting closer and closer to. So it looks like maybe 2.7 or something like that. Or what also I can do is I can change it to a table. So I'm going to convert to a table. And so now I have my table. And again, I really just care about the 0 being undefined. So I'm going to pick a number that's really close to the number 0. So 0.0001. And I get an answer, 2.718, blah, blah, blah. And then over here, I'm going to, as many zeros, but make it positive. So it actually doesn't matter about this. You can leave this blank. You can leave that blank. That's the great thing about Desmos, the table. You can make the table whatever you want it to be. It doesn't need to follow a specific order. So again, what we can do is we can find the average between those two. So I'm going to add 2.7184178 with 2.7181459, and then divide that by 2. So again, I get 2.71828. Now, I'm not sure if you recognize that number, right? So again, we're going to say that this is roughly 2.718, okay? But this is actually the same number as E. So this is actually getting closer and closer to what E represents. Okay, so again, this is our third strategy. When all else fails and we can't rationalize our numerator or denominator, we can't factor something out, and it looks challenging, you want to use technology.